Hello, good evening, namaskar, assalamu alaikum, bonjour to all my beautiful souls today. I'm your host for the evening, Dr. Shelley Best, passionate educator, international speaker and host, writer, social activist, mompreneur, nation builder, and a change maker with 21 years of teaching experience, multi-awardee, and a learner. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be associated with international global professionals as their global member and feel honored and privileged to host this stupendous seminar. It's my delight to welcome you all to our Institutions of Global Professional International free webinar. Thank you all for joining us today in this marvelous session. And also, it's my humble request and pleasure for all of you to stay with us till the evening. And I'm sure you all will have many takeaways and payoffs from this webinar. Now, friends, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Change is the end result of all true learning. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. Learning is like rowing upstream. Not to advance is to drop back. Now, this is the reason why I'm on this platform of IGP again, not only to host, but also to learn from all our learned, eminent speakers. Now, spectacular gathering. In each webinar, we have some new participants joining us. Therefore, let me give them a little briefing about IGP for their better understanding. Well, Institute of Global Professionals serves student and community resource, providing holistic social work and education to create a proficient generation. We believe that it's not effective to increase one's skills just by acquiring formal education. So, we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. Institute of Global Professionals is an educational institution which provides social work which is globally recognized. We organize a webinar, training, offline and online courses, etc., by best and trained speakers, coaches from all over the world to create the best learning platform for you all. Our mission is to empower people and enhance skill. I feel elated to announce that we have already completed 142 international webinars successfully. Wow, that's a good number. Congratulations, IGP. If you want to share your knowledge in global community, please record your topics, videos, and send us in our official email infoigpskill@gmail.com with video description, keywords. We will definitely upload it on our YouTube channel, Facebook page, and Facebook group. As much as your interaction with IGP, Facebook will remark you as a top fan. After sustaining top fan badge till long, Facebook will notify your name to us and you will be eligible for our lifetime membership. I am happy to announce that IGP has released its YouTube channel for our all attendees. You can join all previous programs recording with verified certificates. Please do subscribe to our channel and set the bell for daily updates. I expect that you all will be enlightened by our luminaries today, and the wisdom which you will gain today will sure help in your personal and professional growth. I hope the deliberations from our three distinguished speakers will help you to hone your soft skills, and I extend my best wishes for great success of the participants and wish that you all will remain with us for a long, fruitful association and journey. I extend my deepest gratitude in welcoming you all in today's session, which is our 143rd webinar on transcending optimism and research-based practices in education. Wow, befitting salute to all the educators worldwide. Don't worry, participants, I'm there to provide the power dose of empowering thoughts on this enlightening topic by inviting our eminent honorable three guest speakers. Welcome all our three guest speakers, and that too from Philippines, home to the world-renowned natural wonders like an underground river and rice terraces, incredible diving spots, rich in biodiversity, colorful public transportation, unique cuisine, vibrant festivals that showcase its colorful culture. So, without any further ado, let's start this magnificent event with IGP's mantra: feed your skills with innovation, inspire, and impact. Hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen, to meet our first speaker of the day. Now, it's my time to move on to invite the gracious guest speaker, Mr. Alberto Ambison, who is a student of Doctorate of Education, major in Educational Management at Tarlac State University, Philippines. He is a known national and international speaker in various conferences about mathematics, positive education, and research. He is currently a national mathematics trainer being affiliated to the Foundation for Upgrading the Standard of Education. Likewise, Mr. Alberto is an official research consultant of the Educational Research Center. He is a member of the Philippine Association of Researchers and Statistical Software Users, Teaching and Education Research Association, and International Association of Multidisciplinary Research. Formally, Mr. Alberto is the subject area head of mathematics and technology of Don Bosco Technical Institute, Tarlac, Philippines. Alongside with his curricular responsibilities, he also managed to be the student activities coordinator of the said school. Currently, he is now an AP Calculus and Pre-Calculus teacher at Beijing 101 Middle School, China. Mr. Alberto is a graduate of Bachelor's in Secondary Education major in Mathematics at Holy Angel University, where he obtained the Latin honor, magna cum laude, and the most outstanding teacher education of his batch. He also obtained his Master's of Arts in Education major in Mathematics at Tarlac State University, where he is currently finishing his Doctorate of Education. Aside from these, he managed to finish his international diplomas such as Collaboration, Communication, and Remote Working Program and Thriving in the Digital Workplace Program at University of Leeds and Institute of Coding. Mr. Alberto is a professional licensed teacher and advocate of positive education, a leader, motivator, and a proud Filipino. Wow, that was an impressive profile, Mr. Alberto. Amazing. It deserves a lot of applause and appreciation indeed. We are rather honored to have you with us and want to extend a warm welcome to Mr. Alberto Ambison. Hello, sir. Please share the virtual screen with us. The screen is all yours now. I welcome you to IGP platform.
Thank you so much, Miss. And I would like to extend my thankfulness to the Institute of Global Professionals for for giving me the opportunity to share my love for leadership and positive education. And of course, I would like to express my thankfulness also to our viewers for sparing your time with us, and of course, for you to upskill yourselves to whatever topics I will be discussing or we will be discussing together with my co-design. Okay, Miss Jasmine and Mr. Daniel. So, ma'am, may I ask for your permission to share my screen?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. We are able to see your screen.
Okay, can you now see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. So, to start with, I just want to share the striking statements I have obtained when I read the book of Father Armand Roblesa, a Salesian priest here in the Philippines, titled Julia's Choice. Leadership is a matter of the heart. He mentioned in his book that happiness is being engaged with an efficient work team and an ethical, inspiring leader. People generally stay on the job because of the people in the organization beyond money matters. On the contrary, surveys reveal, and this goes especially for millennials, those employees leave not their jobs, but their bosses. Do you agree with me? Can you please type a comment down below? Yes, if you agree that some employees leave not because of their jobs, but because of their bosses. Moreover, most of the time, it is because of their ethical issues between themselves and, of course, with their leader. Now, as employees, what makes you stay or what made you decide to stay in your organization? What are your reasons for you why you are staying in your current institution? And as leaders, how will you thrive to make your teachers stay? How will you thrive to make your teachers stay? What are your actions for you to be able to say that these teachers, I am confident that they will stay in my organization? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mr. Alberto Dison, an advocate of positive education and your first speaker for tonight's conference. Let me impart to each and everyone my love for leadership and at the same time, my love for positive education. You know, I have been a school leader or managed groups of people for several years. And you know what? Given those experiences, sorry, I actually see my purpose. I actually deem and ponder my purpose for a while. Uh, Sorry for the. Okay. Going back, you know what? I have been experiencing what it is to be an authentic and transformative leader. Or should I say, what really makes a leader? Of course, we have various definitions on what leader is. But for me, leader is someone who positively influences other people for them to become better, for them to change their perspectives so that they can help their community. Likewise, I have been in love to optimism as part of positive education since 2018 when I joined the Foundation for Upgrading the Standard of Education and became a national mathematics trainer. And yes, you heard me right. I am a mathematics teacher. I am not an English teacher nor a psychologist. I am a mathematics teacher. So isn't it ironic to be positive in learning mathematics? Remember, mathematics is the Waterloo of most of our students. They see mathematics as a difficult subject. But you know what? I always connect my advocacy to whatever thing I am doing or whatever stuff I am learning. That is the reason why, since I am currently a student of Doctor of Education, I'm learning about leadership. I want to correlate leadership and having a positive mindset. Also, I am a mathematics teacher. I'm a mathematics teacher, rather. I want to correlate that particular position, that particular responsibility to positive education or positivity. Just like at this moment, I am excited to share my love, again, my passion, experiences, and thoughts about transcending optimism and school management. For I basically value school management, organizational development, and how to emancipate ourselves to the happiness we all deserve. Now, to begin with, I want to ask everyone if do you value yourself? Do you value yourself? You may comment down below if you think you're valuable, you're significant in an academic institution. So let's wait for your answers. Do you value yourself? Okay, let's wait for the answers. I am actually seeing now the comments of our participants since I'm using another device. Yeah. Thank you so much for those who are typing in their answers. Because you know what? At least I am seeing yes. That's good. Because if you cannot answer this question with a resounding yes, I think there's really a huge problem. There's a problem within you. You know what? Self worth and self value play integral roles in how you see and treat yourself in your everyday life. If you think you're valuable, you know how to act, you know how to respond, you know how to answer with the call of your duties. By the way, self worth is different from self value. Self worth is basically at the core of your being. It is how you step into our life and our purpose, and how we develop our worthiness as human beings. Meaning to say, it is generally you as a worthy person. That is self worth. You know your worth as a person. While self value is the action that keeps us aligned to the self-worth. Meaning to say, these are the actions, these are the moves that you will be taking into, these are the decisions that you will be taking into for you to be able to say, for you to be able to transcend that you are significant, that you are valuable. Just like at this moment, I, I am wearing this suit because I know I'm valuable. I'm significant on this conference. That is the reason why I need to exude that significance to others. If you think you are valuable enough, there's a higher possibility to take a space, not only on someone's life, but you will be taking a space to a larger group. For example, in your school, in your organization, isn't it? If you know you're valuable, you will be waking up in the morning energized, full of positivity because you know that you can contribute to the betterment of the people that you will be encountering. But what if your answer is no? Do you think you can still determine what makes you significant in your organization? Do you think you will be recognized because you yourself cannot recognize your potentials? Because you yourself are becoming skeptical to what you can do, to what you can provide to your institution. Henceforth, everyone in this room or everyone watching right now plays a huge role to make progress. You are here because you need to hear these words that you can contribute to the organization's success. What more if you're a leader, right? What more if you are handling people, if you are managing people, managing students? You lead and at the same time manage group of educators, students, and thousands of young people. What transformation can you do for the betterment of our country? If you think you are significant, therefore you are paramount in the society. You can transform lives. Remember that. You can bring happiness to other people. You can help them to become better and see the beauty of life of their lives. You know what? Every morning, uh, uh, this is my practice. Well, I'm still practicing right now. I always look at the mirror and tell that Albert, you are valuable. You are significant. Therefore, you must do good things. You must contribute to the betterment of other people, even if to our siblings, to our family relatives. It is more ideal if we place ourselves in an academic institution. If we will be contextualizing our thoughts, our discussion now in an academic institution. For I believe the future is there. Yes, I still believe that. I am not only upholding that the youth is the future generation, is is the key for us to have a successful future. No, I'm still believing and upholding, and I firmly trust our educators, our leaders, to form these young people, to form as a principal, as a school leader, to form their teachers, to reach out, to extend their hearts, their hands, to create or to craft a beautiful tomorrow, a beautiful uh, future. The enormous impact that you can emancipate is far more significant than what you perceive. Remember this: when we come into the practice of selfless service, again, selfless service, we simultaneously feed our own self worth and value. Why? Because giving to others is more than just volunteering. It's not just a voluntary action. Rather, giving to others yourself is basically giving yourself fully to the betterment of these people, of the parents in our school community, to our students, to our teachers. Profoundly, it's offering something of ourselves that is uniquely precious and our own. Our identity, we are providing that. Our strengths, our weaknesses, we are surrendering those for just to help our school, just to make sure the school management would facilely uh, do the transactions. Now, just a short recap. Actually, I have reported this a while back during our last class in the Doctor of Education at Tarlac State University. We define school management basically as a social process, collective efforts among the school community members, including the parents, the students, the local government units, and the government in general. It is actually a group effort, maximizing the potentials of each and every one in achieving the shared goals and vision. Just like what you are seeing right now. As you can see, we have three, actually four personas here: the school personnel or slash uh, the non-teaching and teaching staff of a school, students, parents, and of course, you as a leader. You have to make sure you will be maximizing all your potentials for you to be able to achieve your shared goals, vision, and of course, to materialize and act upon the set mission. Also, school management is basically achieving predetermined goals. It is significant as an academic institution to realize that envision is the primordial responsibility of a leader. Meaning to say, you need to be visionary. You need to be visionary because if you are visionary, you are looking forward. You are looking forward to the success that you will be attaining together with your teachers, together with your subordinates, together with the students. When you envision something, you are basically uh trying to harmonize the relationships that you have among your members, okay, within the school community. Also, school management is distinct or a distinct entity. What do we mean by that? Remember, as a school, we have different people with different skills, talents, and competence. Am I correct? Okay. To see if you are still there, can you please type in yes? You have your unique skill. You have your unique talent and competence. May I see a yes in our comment box? Thank you so much. Henceforth, it is tantamount to saying that we have our unique strategies to stand out and be the best school we ought to have or to be, given those skills or given that diversity. Also, and lastly, school management required at all levels of an organization, bringing camaraderies and pushing solid and harmonious relationships to others. Meaning to say, this is what a school management is. In short, trying to put into the into proper places these people for us to achieve a beautiful picture of what a school community is or what school community can contribute to other communities, to our nations. And as a leader, you have to remember that you cannot achieve success without other people. And these people whom I am pertaining with are your subordinates, your heroes, your educators, and other staff that build your community. I just want to what they call this, to accentuate my former school, my beloved school, Don Bosco Technical Institute Tarlac, because we have a mantra there, which is family spirit. And yes, I became a school leader there. I became the what they call this, the subject area head of mathematics and technology of the senior high school. I also became the student activities coordinator. But you know what? All the success activities that we have, it is not because of me leading them. It is because of the collaborative effort. It is because of the help of the teachers, these teachers, my teachers. It is because of the help of the Salesians, of our rector, of our economer, of our what they call this pastoral coordinator. It is because of our academic heads. It is because of the parent councils. It is because of the parents themselves, the students themselves. Remember, success will not be success by yourself. Success is because of each and everyone's effort, each and everyone's uniqueness, contributions, and sacrifices. Don Bosco Tarlac is known for being excellent in terms of academic and non-academic activities, specifically leadership. And these activities will not be successful without the collaborative efforts of the members of the school community. All of us are working, all of us are contributing to the success. Henceforth, as a leader, it is very important for you to know what is personnel management. It's not personal management, it's personnel management. As we embarked with manifold and comprehensive school tasks, given our position, yes, it's not easy. Our responsibilities are not pieces of cake. It is tantamount to saying that we should know how to deal with our people. We should know how to recognize their skills, their talents. We should understand where are they coming from. Knowing to deal with other people means you know how to provide opportunities for them to experience growth, either or both personal and professional level. That is basically one of the good qualities of a teacher. Sorry, of a leader. You are journeying with your subordinates. You are becoming an active listener. I got that idea from my professor in TSU. She mentioned that you have to be there. You have to be present. Because in that sense, You are basically knowing your subordinates, your teachers. And at the end of the day, the focus of this personnel management, which is satisfaction, shall be transparent. I am 100% sure if you know how to deal with your people, deal with your school members, school personnel rather, you can identify, okay, this is how this particular teacher experienced satisfaction, contentment. Okay, this is basically the problem of this particular teacher. And so, this is my strategy to help him or her. But then again, having said this, we cannot negate that problems are inevitable. Okay, I am becoming idealistic, but then again, I would say that problems are inevitable. And so, with updates, trends, and progress. So, you're talking about transcending optimism in school management, and then you will be talking about problems. You will be talking about conflicts. Wouldn't be contradicting? No. Let me tell you this. When you are transcending optimism, it doesn't mean that you are just focusing on the positive cases. No. You will also be considering these problems, and you will be now deviating your perspective from problems to opportunities. Every day is a new day. Remember that. Every day is a work in progress. Every day is becoming vulnerable to any conflicts or problems. Therefore, as school leaders, as school leaders, we must expect the unexpected and make things plausible the way we say things, the way we plan, and the way we envision our success. Because all of these are part of all the relationships between yourself, your leadership, and the individuals who work together. Try not to forget that as a team, everything is possible. And I've experienced a lot about teamwork. Last week, I think, yes, we had a webinar series, a 5-day webinar series to the Tarlac at school heads of Tarlac province. And you know what? As part of the organizing team, together with my classmates in Doctor of Education, we have made a successful program. Of course, with the guidance of our professors in Tarlac State University. See, that's collaboration. And now, at this point, I want to what do you call this? I want to give the specific problems or conflicts that the three groups of people which I have projected a while back experience or encounter. Remember that effective principals or school leaders ensure that their schools allow children to put learning at the center of their daily activities. So, what does it mean? Again, we are focusing first to students. So, what does it mean? If the schools allow children to put learning at the center of daily activities, what should they do? They should be considering factors affecting their growth, the students' growth. One, of course, is by providing quality education. If this is not attained or presented to the students, what will happen? What will be their reactions? Why positive education? Why quality education? Because if you are trying to focus yourself, okay, to positive, to quality education, you are trying to maximize the potential of your students. Why? Because if you are just stagnant, okay, to whatever curriculum that you will be providing to your students, therefore you are not making your putting your students at the center of the learning. Quality education is basically shown if we maximize their potentials. Why? Simply because when you target the potentials of your students, of the young people in your school, you are basically trying to figure out how to help them achieve their self-actualization by upskilling them with curriculum, with the quality education you provide them. Am I correct? Now, can you confidently say that in your school provides quality education? I know at present it's very difficult to answer that, to measure that. Why? Because of this pandemic, because we have this uh, online distance learning. But again, as school leaders, we shouldn't stop to think for strategies, to various ways on how to extend our hands to our students. So what will happen now, going back, if you are not valuing their needs, if you are not hearing their voices, of course, misunderstanding and confusion of your role is uptight. Remember that. Let's proceed to school personnel. One of the most striking characteristics of human beings is the diversities, their uniqueness. Am I correct? Different ways of being, thinking, and existing. Different needs, worldviews, ethical positions mark the relationships between people. Just like uh, at this point, just like at this point, I know some of you are agreeing with what I am talking about. And I'm actually seeing, okay, a question here. Women who receive a higher education will likely earn a higher income, true or false? We have different answers. True, false. Yes, it's true. No, definitely not. Because we have different perspectives. And you know what? That makes, okay, that makes our relationship stronger. Because if we have contradicting views and we help ourselves to understand the other parties, the other group, you are now making your relationship uh, flourish. You are making your relationship to grow. In this sense, interpersonal conflicts are understood as tension that involves different interests or positions. And they are inherent to human relationships. We cannot, they are non negotiable and are present in various social organizations, among them, the school. Am I correct? Who among you here experienced a conflict with the other teacher, with your school leader, with the students, with other parents? See, we all experienced these conflicts. So it is important as a leader to know this fact, to understand them, to embrace this fact. If you know how to put yourself on that particular situation, you are basically identifying the root cause of such an issue, of such a conflict. As a leader, you must have a huge overview as you overlook your people. You know what? Every time uh, way back, uh, my stay in Don Bosco, Tarlac, I always have, of course, I always experience uh, conflicts, misunderstandings. But then again, I always uh, express myself to our rector. to our rector. And you know what? After expressing my sentiments, he will not say, "You're correct, you're right, they are wrong." No, he will understand me. He will understand the other parties, other people. He will have a huge overview of what is really happening, what is really the root cause of the misunderstandings. The same with my friends, the same with my uh mother in Don Bosco Tarlac, to Ma'am Rochelle. She always managed to tell me, you know what, Nak, that's a Filipino term for a child, for a son. Nak, you know what? You can deviate your perspectives, okay, in terms of the situation. You can basically try to understand the other people. You may think of, they are struggling, they are facing a problem, and that's true. That's true. And I've been learning from her up until this moment. Remember, they are the group of individuals who play a huge role in an academic institution. Our teachers, admin staff, auxiliary personnel, and even our maintenance personnel. So now my question is, as a leader, are you experiencing these problems with them? Or do your school personnel encounter such conflicts in your leadership? Bombarded of schoolworks, not given opportunities to contribute to the decision making, not maximizing their potentials, not giving them opportunities to grow, unjust compensation and benefits. And how are we going to resolve these issues? Are we responsible for this? Of course, my answer is a resounding yes, because you are a leader. And going back to my definition of a leader, you are a person who positively influences other people. Another group of people whom we find to be great contributors are the parents. Remember, as school leaders, it is important to know our clients. And yes, our clients are not only the students, but also our parents. Thus, they must be considered in some of, not all, or if not all, of our decisions about our school systems, about how we manage our school system. But again, some leaders forget about this. They set aside the presence of the parents. They misconstrue the significance of partnering with our parents, with their parents. Because if you will agree with me, the parents can serve as our experts or sources of knowledge or wisdom given their expertise. Is there anyone here in our in the live is there anyone here in the live session that they are asking help of their parents, of the parents of their students, to share their expertise about their work, about their specialization? You know what? If we know how to partner or communicate with them, quality education can also be manifested. How? Simply by acknowledging contextualization of the curriculum. We may be able to ask for their help in imparting their expertise, especially when we deal with specialized instructions in science, in mathematics, and physics. I have mentioned contextualization of the curriculum. If we are talking about stories of local stories, we can invite our grandmothers, old people in our community to share their knowledge about these stories. See, the students will also have higher confidence with what they are dealing for all. We know they want to hear other voices aside from us teachers, to claim the stand, to claim our stand, to validate our stand as their teachers. You know what? That's possible and non-negotiable. Moreover, we forget sometimes to include them in some tough decisions which may affect their children. To be specific, their children's education and or behavior, or as to how we delve into providing quality education. You know what? Again, uh, not bragging, my beloved school, my former school, Don Bosco Tarlac. Every time we have a big decision when it comes, for example, in our offerings, in our programs, in our outreach programs, we tend to open this to the parent councils because they are the representatives of the parents. We have grade level parents, they are representatives there, and we are. And you know what? Given that practice, I think I think uh the programs are successful. Yeah, no, I'm confident. Our programs are successful, or were successful back then. Why? Because the students are being considered, the teachers, the school leaders, the administrators, the parents themselves. This is where we encounter conflicts because the parents are caught off guard. If we didn't discuss these things to them, they do not know what's happening. They are not aware of the process of these decisions, the proper protocol, I may say. Also, trust issues will now be evident if we let that happen. Subsequently, as leaders, if we will not be able to stress this unto ourselves or in our leadership, this is what will happen. Misunderstanding, misunderstanding, and misunderstanding. And lastly, yourself. It's a big yes for confirmation that we also encounter conflicts within ourselves. Am I correct? We are also experiencing personal struggles, personal conflicts. We as leaders also encounter difficulty in holding such a position. We as leaders still doubt ourselves in what we can possibly and greatly show to the world. This may be the reason why we encounter these issues. Making decisions strategically, lack of teachers' motivation, staff retention, lessening in the involvement of parents, understanding education 4.0, trust issues, and interpersonal conflicts. These are some of the conflicts we face every day in our school community. And the question is, what is the root cause? Or how are we going to resolve the following? I just want to accentuate that great principals lead effective schools. Under their leadership, teachers thrive, students engage with core content, and school administrative functions run smoothly if you are a great principal. But the question is, how will it be feasible if the leaders themselves are not aware of these responsibilities and or implications they need to make given their leadership? How will they be able to emancipate themselves from all the unexpected things that corrupted our beings, their beings? Meaning to say, for you to become a great leader, you must know yourself first. And if you know yourself very well, you know how to move, right? You know how to act. You know how to respond, how to answer these questions. The level of influence a principal possesses, along with the benefits that can accompany their position, Make it a post that many motivated educators aspire to hold. Meaning to say, we, for example, I became a school leader. For example, for the past 2 school years, I was uh, um, the school as the subject area head of mathematics and technology in Don Bosco, Tarlac. However, my journey shouldn't stop there. My journey shouldn't stop there. What do I mean? I should pass that leadership, that motivation, that drive to other people, to my subordinates, because time will come, time will come, they will replace me. And if they see how passionate I was, I think they would follow your footsteps. They would follow my footsteps. Not everyone has what it takes to execute the job effectively. Am I correct? Not everyone has what it takes to become a school leader. May I know in our comment box, are you holding a position right now? Are you holding a position right now? Are you a school head, a head teacher, a master teacher, a principal? Can you please type in yes in our chat box? Serving as a principal requires specific skills and characteristics that positively affect the school as a whole. You know what? I would like to emphasize this one. Yes, I mentioned that as a leader, you positively influences other people, but I am not compromising the technicalities about leadership. As a leader, you must still study. You must still study. Why? Because because of our education, you would be able to understand how to resolve this one, how to do this particular document, how to relate to other people and whatnots. Just like what you are doing right now. You're listening on how to become an optimistic school leader, to become great leaders in your respective schools. And that is basically educating yourself. A lot has been said with the tremendous issues a leader faces, given his position. Are you overwhelmed with the issues, with the responsibilities of a leader? To students, your responsibilities to co-educators, to the entire school community, and to the parents. And a lot has been said that we leaders, as leaders or rather, are contributors to these issues. Yes, we cannot maroon ourselves that I am not, I didn't do that. I am not a contributing factor why we have such existing problem. No. If we have a mindset that we are contributors to these issues, it is tantamount to saying we can also be able to contribute to resolve this one, to these issues, right? To emancipate ourselves from these woeful situations. But the big question is how? How are we going to resolve, to contribute to resolve these issues? And you know what? For me, the answer is know yourself. Know yourself. Evaluate first yourself. For knowing oneself can greatly help dig the deepest parts of your heart or yourself, where your power lies, where your passion lies, where your power to lead and to serve, to transform lives can be found. Know yourself. My professor in the graduate school once said, Dr. Laja, you don't hold that position for no reason. You are there because you can. If you're a teacher, there's a reason why you are a teacher of these young people. You can lead, you can serve, you can transform and change the lives of your community to the betterment. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me that you can lead, you can serve, you can transform? Sorry about that. The importance of knowing oneself can vary among individuals. But to give you a summary of what is the advantages of knowing oneself. First, it helps us in our decision making. It helps us to decide properly in life. Thus, if you identify how good you are in terms of numbers, you can decide to go into accounting as a career. Just like my work right now. I do love numbers way back then because of my high school teachers. That is the reason why I did love numbers right up to now. That is the reason why I became a mathematics teacher. Second is appreciating other people. If you know yourself, it will help you know your shortfalls, your flaws. Examples are impatience, bad temper, pride. Correct? If you know that, if you know that you have, for example, I would say that writing is my Waterloo. Yes, that's correct. Waterloo is I Waterloo. My Waterloo is writing. I am not confident to write technical papers. But then again, I didn't stop there. That's my weakness. And that is the reason why I love research now. Because the research helps me to practice writing in a technical manner. This will help you understand other people with such possessions. Correct? Knowing our weaknesses. When we identify our weaknesses, example, what we are not very good at, this helps us to relate to others better. Right? Because you will say that I am not perfect. And so I do not have the right to what do you call this? To judge other people. I am not perfect. I have some problems with my attitudes. Therefore, I should not judge also other people. Yes, sometimes you are actually doing that, but then again, you will realize that's wrong. That's incorrect. You will understand that they are that you cannot talk to that particular person right at that moment because he's struggling, because you also experience that if you are struggling right now, you are not talking to other people, and that is basically knowing oneself. Lastly, understand yourself. This tells us who we are and what makes us able to accept ourselves. This helps us other people believe in us when we understand and believe in ourselves. Remember, you cannot depend your significance, your value to from other people. You yourself should start first believing yourself so that other people will believe on you. Way back in my college years, I believe that I can finish my studies, that I can contribute to the educational system of the Philippines. And that's what I'm doing right now. See, I believe first to myself. I believe that there will come a point that I would be discussing or presenting my love for positivity, for leadership, about mathematics to other people. And yes, I am living those dreams, because I believe in myself. And so others also believe in myself, in me. The way we behave, the way we look, the things we like to do, as well as our strengths and weaknesses, is what makes us who we are. It tells people about us, so they know what we like and what we dislike. It is thus so important for us to know ourselves. Knowing oneself primarily focuses on how we behave and think in general. And these are the advantages of knowing yourself. If you know yourself, you know truly yourself as a leader, you know how to transcend optimism in school management. Going now to the heart of my presentation, which is positive education. You know what? I would like to share what I have, what I saw to the profile of our third speaker, Dr. Daniel. He mentioned in his Facebook profile, if you cannot really change the situation, you change your attitude. And as a leader, your responsibility is to create a learning environment through your demonstrating attitude toward innovation and change. And by communicating your belief in the potential and worth of your members. Your attitudes, remember this, and positive expectations establish in their receptiveness to behavior change. Thus, as a leader, you must alter your attitude to positivity and growth. Remember that the greatest discovery of any generation is that human can alter his life by altering his attitude. That is basically from William James. It is tantamount to saying that if you want to see progress in yourself and unto others, try to change your attitude towards yourself and to others. That's easy. Now try to be optimistic. Try to be optimistic. Right now, I know you are struggling. You are anxious. Some of you are anxious. Some of you are carrying a heavy problem, a burden. Am I correct? A difficulty. But I want you now to relax. I want you to become optimistic. Because if you are optimistic, you can now try to think of the possible solutions of your current problem. In our institution, instead of having lack of vision to the future, why not start envisioning for bigger things to your organization, right? Instead of being afraid of what tomorrow will bring to us, to our institution, why not try to prepare yourself to the possible problems? Instead of having poor communication skills, why not start to practice reaching out even more and better this time to other members of your organization? Instead of having lack of integrity, why not act what you preach? Do righteous things and uphold the value of integrity, since integrity is the most valuable and respected rather quality of leadership. Always keep your word. As a leader, that's a very important integrity. If you do not know how to keep your words, to keep your decisions, I don't think your members would trust you, would follow you. I know, I know changing your attitude is arduous and it needs a strong disposition. But if you think that this is for yourself, for your students, for your school personnel, parents, and or to the entire school community, I think there's no reason for us not to try this, right? Or do it. If you know this is for the betterment of all, of your leadership and management of the school systems, I think there is no need for a second thought, since this is your primary duty as a school head. But then again, make sure, since you have a good intention, your actions are also good. Do you get what I mean? Because it would be a different story if, yes, your intention is good, but your actions are not so good or are negative, or are bad, okay, are invalid, again, your intentions will also transcend that negativity. And now this is relative to what the new form of psychology is trying to accentuate and impart to everyone's mindsets, because we know that psychology is trying to fix a problem, right? We have that connotations and a connotation that psychology is basically trying to fix something, some hole, some problems. But this new form of psychology, which is the positive psychology, teaches us to become aware of what we can do rather than trying to fix what we cannot. Right? For example, it's very easy. It's very easy. You know that your students, that you have a particular student which who is struggling in mathematics. Aside from trying to understand what is the root cause, or sorry, what is the problem with this student, what is the problem, why the student cannot comprehend this particular topic, this content, try to think, what can I do to help these students, to help this particular student? And that is positive psychology. It emphasizes the positive influences in a person's life, how you positively influence other people. How will you be able to give your heart, your hands? And that is selfless service, which I have mentioned a while back. Giving our precious and our own to other people. And that is a leader. And yes, being optimistic is one of the characteristics which people need to transpire in their leadership and management. This characteristic has something to do with how these leaders enable themselves to walk slowly with their employees, to better understand each one of them, and at the same time thinking of how they will be able to contribute to the pinnacle of one's success. They are basically involved to what we call character strengths, positive options, and constructive intuitions. The fact that we can deviate ourselves from the woeful situations we are facing right now, given our positions, we tend to reflect and see the silver lining. We tend to face that with an open mind and different mindset. For with that, we will be able to fight against this and attain victory in our leadership. And that is basically the concept, the general concept of positive psychology. And positive psychology is trying to understand, according to Dr. Martin Seligman, he's my idol. He's my idol because I'm an advocate of positive education. Positive psychology is understanding what makes us flourish. Flourish means growth. It basically understanding how will you grow? How will you flourish? How will you help yourself to flourish the attitudes that you have, the strengths that you have? How will you be able to make these weaknesses that you have opportunities to grow? Therefore, transcending optimism in school management will make us understand what our people need to make them flourish, also ourselves, to make progress, to make them progress, involved in the decision making, will make them willingly to contribute in the success of the organization. Now, it is our own choice to grab the great opportunities to what positive psychology provides us. Later on, positive education will be discussed by our next speaker, and you will know how advantageous is to understand positive education. You have the power to change things now and not to walk in a constant circle. Now you are better than yesterday, than an hour ago because of my discussion. I think you have the power to change things, to change your perspectives, to alter your attitudes towards success. We all know this. We all know this. People want to love what they do, right? People want to love what they do. They have passions and goals. All of us have passion and goals. That is the reason why please, please, please do not give up to our students. Do not give up to our teachers because they still have passions and goals. They have dislikes and dislikes. So we need to understand that. We as leaders must know about all these things. We must understand how to make our people love what they do in our organization. And I cannot say one particular strategy to understand or to understand how to make our people happy because of the diversities that we have, because of the uniqueness that we have. That is the reason why I am just giving general concepts, general strategies. Since we are in the academy, let us give so much importance to their well-being. During this pandemic, well-being is very important. Mental health is very significant as to how they see teaching as a great tool in transforming the lives of their students to the betterment. Let us try to journey with them as they deal with their different emotions. If they are happy, let's celebrate with them. If they are sad, let's try to be there as a good listener, as an active listener. Not all the time, our teachers need advices from us. Remember that not all not all our friends, our teachers, or other people, if they are expressing themselves, if they're expressing their sentiments to you, they're not asking for your advice. Sometimes they're just asking you to be there as a good listener. If they are angry, of course, you don't need to be angry as well. Okay? If they are angry, let us try to understand them and try to identify the root cause of such an anger, right? That's basically transcending optimism in school management, trying to know how can we make these people, our teachers love what they are doing. You know what? As a Salesian educator, a former Salesian educator, but I am still calling myself a Salesian educator because all my beliefs, all my passions are taught uh, uh, by uh, by my school heads, my colleagues in Don Bosco, because of because of my love to the young people, to performing arts, to mathematics, to research, to leadership. These are all because of Don Bosco Tarlac. Why? Because these people journeyed with me, helped me to understand myself, helped me how to love my work. Why? You know what? In our school, if we will not consider those things, isn't it? Most of the people, most of us during the face to face, or I do not know if up until now, we spend half of their waking hours at work, right? We spend 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours at work. It's important that work is as fulfilling as possible. Since they are there for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, we make sure that they are happy within those hours or during those hours. Happy employees are invaluable to an organization. Yes. They are engaged and motivated, excited to go to work each day, and spread their positive energy throughout the workplace. I will tell you this. I will tell you this. You know what? I have a group of friends in Tarlac, closest friends, and we are happy. And since we are happy, we are motivated to work, and we can transcend that to other people, to our colleagues, even to our students. Now, I am here to present with you the model which I uphold relative to my advocacy, the Perma Model. This model focuses on what makes life most worth living. It considers how people can build the best life they can for themselves by including the positive aspects and minimizing the worst. As an employer, manager, school leader, CEO, you can put these ideas into practice to foster positivity and prove the following: performance, motivation, engagement, conflict resolution skills, and original thinking. And the question is how, right? So these five core elements of the PERMA model: the positive emotion, the engagement, relationship, meaning, and accomplishment. Please, please try not to forget these five core elements of PERMA. Because remember that our genes, I do not know if you are aware of with this, our genes are responsible for about 50% of our happiness levels. Our actions and attitudes account for 40% of our happiness. And 10% is how we act. Okay? And that is basically the 90-10 principle. The 90-10 principle. So if our choices and attitudes have significant impact on our happiness, how do we cultivate and maintain a state of positivity and well-being in the workplace? I hope upon discussing these five, you will be able to conquer and become uh, triumphant with the above mentioned issues that a leader is facing or even the problems in that organization. Let me read this one. This caught my attention. A comment. You really love your previous workplace, sir. The DB title. No wonder you are well trained. Job well done. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. I truly love the Bosco Tarlac. Okay, so let's start with positive emotions. You know what? Positive emotions, like happiness, have an abuse connection to well-being. When we feel positive, uh, we perform better, right? Who among you here that you are mad and then you can still produce quality output? You can still produce quality outputs. I don't think so. You can do that. When we feel positive emotions, we respond more helpfully in our relationships, right? And we are more willing to hope for the best future and to take risks to achieve that future, right? Did you experience that? You wake up full of energy, full of happiness, then enter your organization or a meeting, everything becomes light from your end. And not only from your end, it exudes out from you. Remember that positive emotion is more than smiling. Okay? It's not you're happy, you're smiling and so you're happy. No. It is the ability to remain optimistic and view one's past, present, and future from a constructive perspective. That is the reason why I have mentioned that when you are becoming optimistic, you are not just trying to think for positive thoughts. No. You also consider the not so good things about you, about others, and about the situation, and try to convert that to opportunities. That is tantamount to saying positive emotion is being understanding to the situation. Why? Simply because you opened yourself to embrace the situation or the person. himself. Since you understand that person, even having such notorious attitude, you can still
Yes, sorry,
embrace
sir.
that
Sorry to
person.
intervene. Really sorry to intervene. It was a very good presentation, but I think it has exceeded the word limit since we have the other two speakers also. So, can
Yes,
you
it's
quickly
okay.
just
I
wind up
know.
in a minute?
Okay, I would round it out. Thank you
Yeah,
so
just wind
much.
up in a
Okay,
minute. Yeah.
okay. So, moving forward. Sorry. Okay. Uh, Mentioning the five core elements of positive emotions, which are positive emotion. I have mentioned already the positive emotions. Let's proceed now to engagement. I've mentioned that teachers are becoming lesser motivated because you don't know how to maximize their potentials. You don't know utilize their strengths, their potentials to help or contribute to our school, also with our parents, also with our students. If you know how to engage them, if you know how to make sure you are expressing that you trust their abilities to what they can do, okay? I think we can resolve the misunderstandings among us. And that is engagement. Because engagement is basically trying to emancipate that that organizations can help employees uh, invest with themselves. The formula for building staff engagement is to maximize the extent to which people are using and applying their strengths. Martin Seligman and other researchers have noted that when work demands our engagement, such as using our strengths in new and innovative ways, we experience higher levels of happiness and lower levels of depression. Next, relationship. You know what? It's very easy. If, for example, you're a leader, make an effort to eat lunch in the canteen. Organize a get together with your colleagues after work. This is what I missed with Don Bosco Tarlac. And get to know the people you are spending so much time with. Because uh, upon discoursing with them, having a conversation with them, you will learn a lot. And you are actually trying to strengthen, harmonize your relationship. As a manager or a team leader, you need to be aware of how contagious positivity or negative can be. And you should be aware of the importance of managing morale because one unhappy person can make for an unhappy office. The trick here is to seek out these people, find them, cherish them, and most importantly, spend time with them. Place them strategically in teams that could benefit from their sunnier disposition. And that is basically a relationship. Next is meaning. It's very easy. You know what? If you know how to provide meaning, purpose to the task that you are providing to your students, to the parents, to the school personnel, there will be no second thought on why they will do that. And you yourself, if you know or you have the sense of purpose, I think goal setting would be part of your daily routine. Leaders can build achievement in their people by involving person strengths in future discussions about organizational goals. And that is basically accomplishment.
Sorry to
If
intervene once again, but it was a long, long presentation, though it was eye catchy and we all were enjoying. But I'm just looking at the time and the time management because we have to fix another two speakers also.
true.
So it was
Okay.
rather
May I
great. I will
deliver
rather
my
call it a
ending?
flamboyant presentation on transcending optimism and research based practices in education, and especially how to value yourself, your self worth, if you think you are significant, and how to emancipate yourself with these problems with your eye catching slides and worthy pearls of wisdom. So, Mr. Alberto Dison, a big thank you for sparing your invaluable time from your busy schedule and empowering all of us with your thoughtful deliberation and disquisitions. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, after such a terrific start of the session, let's proceed to our next distinguished guest, Ma'am Jasmine Joy Dison. Now, she is a
Thank
registered guidance counselor and psychometrician from Philippines. She obtained her undergraduate and graduate degree at Tarlex State University, graduating as cum laude. She was the president of their CAG Psychological Organization and awarded as Psychology Student of the Year and Best in Research. Her past job experience was being a lecturer in a state university and a guidance counselor in a private school. As of the moment, she is the project in charge and counsel consultant under the Child Farm Possibilities and Psychosocial Solutions under their Employee Assistance Program to BPOs. Currently, she is finishing her professional teaching certification at UP Open University and taking up her PhD in clinical psychology at PUP. Zaz is an advocate of mental health and has given free psychoeducation seminars to over 50 schools nationwide. Aside from her profession, she is a book lover and a travel enthusiast. So, please give her a warm welcome. Hello, ma'am. Please enlighten us with your pearls of wisdom. I readily welcome you to the IGP platform.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Shelley, and good evening to everyone. So, before I proceed with my presentation, I would like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to the IGP for this amazing opportunity, and of course, to my fellow presenter this evening, Mr. Alberto Dizon, for encouraging me to partake this amazing opportunity, and of course, to all the viewers out there in our Facebook Live and being with us this evening. Thank you very much for your time. So, by the way, once again, I'm Jasmine Dizon from the Philippines, and my area of focus is all about positive education or positive psychology and education. So, to start off my presentation, I would like to ask you, dear participants, you can comment down below in our comment section your answers, okay? So, for my quick survey, okay? So, my question is, what do you mostly want for your children? So, if you are already a parent right now or will be a parent in the future, what do you think or what will you want your children to obtain or to experience in life in general? So again, you can comment down below in our chat box your answers. And actually, just to give you an insight to a scientific study done by Martin Seligman, as mentioned a while back by Dr. or soon to be Dr. Alberto Dizon, he is the father of positive psychology. He was able to somehow gather evidences or responses in this question, wherein many of the parents answer that they want happiness, confidence, kindness, good health, and of course, satisfaction to their children. Okay, so in here, it's all about their well being, as you can see. But then again, for the next question, being educators or having children going to school and such, what do you think schools must teach? So if you are a parent or an educator right now, what do you think is the most vital thing that the school or a school must teach to their students? So again, you can comment down in our chat box or in our comment section in our Facebook Live. And of course, going back to the study of Martin Seligman, he found out that parents and even educators answer that most of them wants their students to achieve, okay, to have a good academic performance or high grades, or of course to also develop skills that they can use even beyond the school, success in life or in success in school as well, and of course to also develop some leadership skills and discipline within them. So as you can see, if we will be comparing the two set of lists of the answers from the two questions of what you want your children to obtain and what do you want schools to teach to your children, you can see that there is no overlap between the two of them, and that actually in schools, it is more inclined into, of course, achievement or accomplishment of the students. Meanwhile, in life in general, parents would love their children to be at their best in terms of their well-being. So actually in here I am very much I do agree actually on the sentiments between the two questions. But then again, of course, if we are able to somehow gel or mash it up, wherein both skills of well-being and achievement or academics will be fostered, actually this is where positive education comes in. So the question now, maybe some of you are wondering why well-being should be taught in schools and why do we have to practice positive education in schools. So actually, this or my presentation will be a brief introduction to this of why positive education should not only be taught but also fostered in the school's curriculum and culture as well. So let us now take a look of why well-being should be taught in schools. So, worldwide, statistics show that actually the mental health state among students that several studies already suggested that the age of first onset of depression has already decreased from adulthood to adolescent stage. So, as you can see, that is actually a starting reality that um, people are now younger, okay, whenever they first experience depression, unlike before that depression starts an more adult stage or more adult age. And other thing is that actually way back in 1993, nearly 20% of youth already experienced an episode of clinical depression by the end of their high school years. So actually that was way before 1993. And recently in 2012, many common mental disorders such as, for example, mood disorders, anxiety disorders, and substance use disorders such as alcoholism and drug addiction has been found high in prevalence among college students worldwide. So actually, that is a sad but true reality among all of the nation or among all countries worldwide. And of course, to a more recent study, according to check.org in their global survey last 2020, last year, 56% of students worldwide said that their mental health had suffered during the pandemic. So really, this is something that we really have to consider. And I think many of us had already observed, right? And to know more about their state or their insights about online classes, um, same uh, same um, same global survey was also conducted from the check.org, wherein they found out that 51% of all the students across the 21 countries said that their instructors actually know how to teach effectively online. So that is a good thing to know. But meanwhile, there are still 37% who says that they do not or they don't feel that they are efficiently taught during online classes. And other than that, actually, 50% of all the students across again the 21 surveyed countries describe their online classes as somehow very good or effective. Meanwhile, 35% says that they would rather have in-person learning or face-to-face classes, and they see that it's more effective to them rather than this new type or modes of learning, which is the online classes or the synchronous asynchronous classes through online means. So with that, of course, it is very somehow we cannot avoid actually that there will be some mental health issues that will arise and actually are arising even before the pandemic because of some stressors and some factors to consider in students schooling. So like for example, right now there are students who really miss classes, and of course this happens because their anxiety or depression or other mental health problems lead them to what we call a school refusal and of course school phobia. Like for example, their anxiety or depression is so severe that they began avoiding school or avoiding attending class. So actually this is very much easier to do right now because they can opt not to join their like Zoom class or meeting link and such thing like that. So actually that is very alarming. Then another sign of mental health issues that we can actually determine or pinpoint, especially as educators, if we will be very observant in with our students, is that their lack of engagement in the classroom is also evident. So in here, of course, somehow their lack of engagement in the classroom really affects their learning. Like they won't have the full experience of enjoying their class, and that is why they will somehow have difficulty understanding their lesson, and of course, their relationship with their teachers and their peers or classmates also is affected. So with that, of course, it can also further lead to resistance to anything school related. So actually, that is a sad, but again, a true uh, reality to all of us. And another thing, another sign of mental health issues that we can also take into consideration is that these mental health problems or struggles that our students experience impacts their working memory, because somehow depression, anxiety, and other mental health problems makes it challenging for them to retain new information that is being taught to them, and to also recall previously learned information. And lastly, of course, we can see or we can somehow pinpoint if a student is suffering from mental health issue if they produce inconsistent academic results. So in here, for example, a student who you know is very good an academic performer, like for example, his or her performance is fluctuating. Like in one day, she performs well or she passes her requirements well or on time, but on the next class or in the next or on the other subjects, she doesn't even um, try to comply with her requirements. So actually, that fluctuation in her performance, his or her performance, can really be a sign of struggle or mental health problem. So in that way, of course, this can lead the student to be frustrated with his or her own self, and of course, the teachers become very confused on how to deal with the inconsistency of the behavior of our students. So actually, with all of the statistics and of course signs shown about mental health issues among our students, this can help us to look for signs and of course determine on how we can further help our students, not only in their academics but also in their well-being as well. And of course, one of the solutions in here is positive education. So actually, this is very anchored to what Sir Albert Dison has mentioned a while back, which is positive psychology. So since he already explained it in a thorough sense, of course. So I'll just be more specific to positive education, which is of course considered as a science of well-being, wherein if it is integrated into our school, like in our school's curriculum, and of course in our culture, it can be very important and in a way be at level with academic achievement, okay, of the students. So in here, somehow positive education can help our students not only to survive but to really thrive and of course flourish not only as a student but as an individual in general. And of course, in positive education, take note that we do not only do this or foster this to our students, but also to all our stakeholders. So, meaning to say, yes, teachers will somehow inject this to the curriculum or teach some positive education concepts and all. But then again, they could or they should also be trained with this kind of practice. And of course, this practice can be really utilized in their work environment. So would it be great, right, fellow educators, if we will be able to somehow, even us, we can practice positive psychology in our daily lives, because somehow it can really help us with our also our mental health, which of course I think and I also believe that we as educators, as the somehow the captain of the ship of the classroom, will be really somehow well in our mental health, because we cannot pour from an empty cup. Like if we ourselves are not well in our emotional state, we cannot be as full or as efficient as we can to our students. So there you go. So again, we should also incorporate it to ourselves, dear educators. And take note, just brief disclaimer that positive education or positive psychology in general is not a happyology, meaning to say it's not about all rainbows and butterflies and, of course, discounting the negative. No, actually, we don't want that in positive psychology. Actually, in positive psychology, or more specific in positive education, we acknowledge that yes, there are unpleasant emotions that can be felt. Yes, that there are unpleasant experiences that we experience every now and then. And what's good in positive education is that how can we use our strengths in order to somehow adapt to this kind of experience. So actually, it's right there. It says that it's about managing day-to-day life and knowing how to deal with challenging situations by using our strengths rather than focusing on what's wrong or with our weaknesses. Okay, so that's positive education for us. And maybe some of you are wondering, why does it matter? Why do we have to inject it? So, aside from the data that I've shown you a while back of why mental health should be really emphasized in the school setting, of course, positive psychology and education should also be somehow given importance because of these four reasons. So, actually, even beyond these four reasons, I think you can also add some more reasons on why positive psychology should be injected or incorporated in our education system. So, first reason that we have is that actually, according to the study of, I think that's Brian, like almost 1 in 5 students will experience major depressive episodes before graduating from high school. So, actually, if you could see that, that's somehow a very a challenging finding that, of course, it can be a rude awakening to us to really push ourselves to inject positive psychology and education, because we don't want, of course, our students experiencing those kind of mental health problems, right? And of course, it's really a school is really a good foundation, and not only foundation but a source for them, an experience to them to, of course, be somehow shy away from those kind of mental health problems. But although it's also understandable that many people with major depressive episode, one of the biggest factors they're experiencing school they are in when they are in that age, like puberty stage or adolescent stage and stuff like that. So scientifically speaking, that is happening, or that can be a possibility. And then another reason why positive psychology and education matter is that youth on average spend so many hours a week in school. Like, for example, 30 hours a week, 40 hours a week. And of course, for others, it can go beyond that because of their extracurricular activities, right? So, in a way, having a lot of time with them we can help them experience positive education, and of course develop the skills that they need to, of course, to strengthen their mental health, and of course to grow as a person, not only in academics. The third reason why positive psychology and education do matter is that some research has also shown that character traits like grit, actually, grit is really important for a student to have, because, yes, a student may be smart and all, but then if they don't have the grit, if they don't have the persistence and passion to do what they have to do, that potential can be died down, or that potential can be wasted. So actually, grit can help students to turn their potential into a real skill, or their talents into a more um, um, into a materialized one, so something like that. So again, and again, okay, so grit is as important as our IQ, and of course, our grit can really help somehow parang develop our skills that is as important as IQ, like EQ and other, and of course, thriving skills and other things that we also need in life. Okay, not just in the four corners of classroom. And lastly, another reason why positive psychology and education really do matter is that research has also shown that character traits and well-being are really malleable or skill-like, meaning to say we can mold it, especially if our students are in the foundation years, like in the elementary, in the high school years. Of course, we can be of best help to really mold them into something, of course, that they will be a better person, or of course that is good for their mental health. So of course, with good teaching and practice, we could be one of the main facilitators of growth to our students. And actually, our positive education is really anchored with the six domains of positive education, which, of course, Sir Albert was able to thoroughly discuss a while back. So, actually, positive education is somehow anchored with this framework, as you can see in the screen, wherein it has six leaves, which represents the PERMA. But in here, also, the age part in PERMA was added, which is positive health. So in here, it's not only about physical health, okay, but it's also about mental health as well, because somehow physical health is very connected with our mental health and vice versa. Like they can affect each other, right? Like, for example, if you are not feeling well, say, physically, like you're ill or you have a flu and all, of course, your mental health will also be affected. You'll feel down and all. And on the other way around, if you are mentally ill, or like you have mental health problems, or you are feeling down and all, of course, your physical health will also suffer. Like, for example, there are actually illnesses that are psychological induced, like some headaches that are not biologically induced, are somehow because of the fact that we are stressed, or somehow our immune system, oftentimes we don't know why we are having sickness and all. And maybe some of those times is because of some psychological or stressors in life that we experience. So that way, really, mental health can also affect our physical health as well. So again, so as you can see, there are six leaves representing the Perma model with the age and the end of the Perma. So that is why it is now six. And a while back with Sir Albert, it's only five in the Perma models in the acronym. And of course, other than the Perma, as you can see, in the middlemost, we have flourish as the core concept of positive education, because actually this is the end goal of positive education, which is to help students really flourish in life, or meaning to say, to obtain their highest or fullest potential as they can. And of course, their character strengths also is anchored with the PERMA model, because somehow, if they are able to focus on their strengths and of course utilize them, it can really be a great help for them to really grow and develop as a person. So that's our somehow our framework of positive education, um, or positive psychology in education. Okay. And actually, positive psychology in education, or if done in classroom, is really focused on two types of well-being. So it can be hedonic, which focuses on individual well-being, or like, for example, for students, it's their fun experience at class, or their great or funny memories in classroom, and so on. So everything that is fun and exciting and gives them pleasure, so that can be hedonic. And for students, there are also well-being that is connected into the eudaimonic, which is doing good for other people, or actually in positive psychology, or positive psychology in education, it's more on connected with the actualization of the students' potential. Meaning to say, whenever they are able to really utilize their potential and to really strive on that, of course, the sense of fulfillment, accomplishment will really flourish to them. And of course, that is what we want to our students, right? So, all in all, of course, as you can see, the well being concept is very um, somehow spread in all directions, or meaning to say, it's really holistic in a sense to our students. So, actually, that is very ideal, but it's really possible for us to achieve. And with that, actually, in order for us to achieve positive psychology in education, there are some comments and of course studies from Black and William in their study, which is or article, which is called as "Inside the Black Box: Raising Standards Through Classroom Assessment." So they said that inside the classroom, it's really important for us teachers or educators to somehow be aware of our dialogue between our students, because in a way, like for example in classroom recitation, they really pointed out there that in traditional classroom recitation, we all know that it invokes fear or our students are really frightened in answering whenever there's a recitation, because they are conditioned that whenever they are called, they will be somehow ridiculed or they will be asked tough questions and all. And for Black and William, they said that one of the best ways for teachers to somehow modify that conditioned thinking to our students is that we should try to give them many time or long time, okay, long time to answer. Like we do not pressure them to answer right away, because in that sense, they will feel that they are okay or valid to answer, to think first before answering. And of course, they will not be pressured. So in a way, they are not forced to answer. And of course, they will be given the freedom to answer what they want. And of course, breaking that conditioned response that whenever they're called, um, it is frightening for them. So, and of course, other than that, the dialogue should be thoughtful and reflective. So, actually, the more that the students are able to speak up and share and to feel that they have their safe space in the classroom or in their class, it's really important for their growth, because they can actually utilize that feeling to other experience in their lives. Like for example, when they grow up and in the world of work, what they experience in the school setting can really manifest in the world of work, and all thanks to us, dear educators, right? And the next one is that, of course, we should also take into consideration our belief that we hold about the potential of our students, because somehow there is a traditional mindset or perspective that students have fixed IQ. And we all know, I think many of us have heard that it is not true, or it is not the absolute truth, right? And meaning to say, other people might think that there are students that are born smart, that are born sporty or athletic, and that cannot be changed. Actually, that is not so true, because somehow there are also students who have untapped potentials, meaning to say they have the potential but they don't still have the avenue to somehow enhance it, or no one is giving them the chance to really untap that potential that they have. And of course, us being educators, it's really our somehow our great responsibility to pinpoint and of course to help them untap those potential that they they must explore or discover. Okay, so with us, we can help them and to also believe that they have it, they just have to develop it. So again, actually I can also somehow have to thank Don Bosco. So since I am a former employee of Don Bosco Tarlac as well, same as Sir Albert Dizon, that we have a culture there, or we have a mindset there that we have to be somehow, yes, we commend students who are academically performing and all. Yes, we commend them and we give them praises and recognitions, but also we have to emphasize and aid, and of course give special attention to the students who are the last, the least, and the lost. Okay, so meaning to say, who are the not the most um or the least performing, or those who are with conduct problems, or those who are lost in life, because somehow they have their own strengths. It is not it's just that they don't know it yet, or uh, they don't have the time to discover it yet. So we as educators really have that power to help them untap those potential and of course strengths that they have within them. And of course, feedback, of course, many educators know this already, that feedback is also important for students to really somehow improve and flourish further. Because, in a way, if pupils are only given marks and grades and there are no feedbacks or orientation on how they can improve themselves, of course, they will not benefit from the feedback at all. And of course, constructive feedback is really important for them, because of course it can really affect their self-esteem, self-worth, and of course even their self-efficacy or their belief that they can do things. And of course, in giving feedback, it's really important for us to ask ourselves this question, like, do I really know enough about the student or my student, and how can I help him or her? Because in that sense, really, our students have different needs and of course different skills and different potential. So we should take into consideration that our students have individual differences, and each of them must have individualized help that they can get from us. And other than experiencing positive education in our interaction with our students, of course, positive education can also be injected into our curriculum. And actually, in positive education, the most ideal is that it must be age appropriate, because of course it's understandable that there are mental health concepts that um, younger individuals cannot understand, right? So in that way, this could be a top down approach, wherein younger pupils may have lesser time of positive education lessons, while the older years or the upper years may have longer periods of positive education lessons. So actually, each lesson can be a standalone, or it can be complementary to other topics given throughout the curriculum. So like we can inject it into their health subject, or to other social sciences subjects, something like that. And also, we can help students thrive and, of course, experience positive education by celebrating their character strengths. So, when we say character strengths, it's all their virtues and, of course, their skills and their values that really helps them. And to have what we call as positive development, because in a way, schools is really somehow very much has very much given emphasis, I should say, to students academic performance, right? But for some, they see that their character strengths are not being commended, or not being um, seen as something that is a good accomplishment as well. So that is why I think some schools, like actually Don Bosco Turlock has um, conduct award. So that is with that, actually that is a form of celebrating the students' character strengths, which is, of course, it can reinforce them to continue being a good person, or having that strength to develop on their own. So there you go. And of course, since many of the schools here in the Philippines have this what we call as revitalized homeroom guidance program, of course, it is very vital for us to really inject positive education lessons in our homeroom guidance program, since this time is really our chance to foster positive attitudes, behaviors, and values to our students. And other than that, it can be also our time to improve our relationship and understanding with our students as well. So there you go. And lastly, to give some insights on the benefits of positive education. Actually, this is scientifically proven or empirically proven benefits of positive education. Like, of course, many schools, like I think that's in Australia and in New Zealand, has um has reported that their students have improved GPAs or grade point average when they injected or incorporated positive education in their school's curriculum. Then, other than that, of course, it also helps in decreasing depression, anxiety, and anxiety rates, and of course, hopelessness among students. And other than that, it also aids in higher levels of academic engagement and participation, which, of course, if we experience that in the classroom setting, it's for us educators, that could be very fulfilling and fun experience to have, right? And also, positive education has seen to be positively correlated to higher retention rates and stronger social, emotional, and emotional skills with our students, and having pro-social behavior as well, which of course they can utilize this not only in the four corners of the classroom but also beyond school, and of course even as they grow old. And also, that good thing here is that positive education fosters higher levels of optimism among students, and they also somehow have reported that there's an improve of health related behaviors, and of course there's also greater levels of self-control and discipline among students. And last two, of course, which is of course very connected, is that they help, of course, or positive education help in reducing conduct problems and even procrastination among our students. So again, it's really very important for us to inject positive education, because as you can see, those benefits will really be beneficial not only to our students but also to us educators. And of course, in summary, leading our students to flourish, or this a positive education thing can really lead our students not only to flourish but to also grow as a person, not only in academics, no, but also for in their well-being in general as well. And what's good in here is that they can really practice it or foster or somehow utilize it in even in their day-to-day lives. So there you go. And of course, it's really a good somehow it will leave us educators a good feeling of being fulfilled as educators, like if we are able to touch their lives in a positive way, right? Like we do not just teach them or foster learning or facilitate learning, but we also have been a positive impact into their lives. And to end my presentation, as Martin Seligman, the father of psychology, said, well-being is every child's birthright. And so let us, of course, with that, let us practice positive psychology and foster it in order for our child, our students, pupils, or our youth in general to really have that well-being which we all need right now. So there you go. So that's my presentation for this evening. So hopefully I am able to emphasize how positive education is very vital during, especially now that we're in a pandemic and all. Thank you very much for that. And Dr. Shell?
No doubt, this was an ostentatious presentation, Ma'am Jasmine, on what do you want for your children. Science of mental health issues, positive education. It's not a happyology, it's all about managing day to day life and then how. Positive psychology in education and why does it matter, and that to even the classroom also. I am obliged for your marvelous insights and thoughts. It might have sure helped our educators and learners today. At least I have learned a lot from you today. Thank you so much for giving us your precious time from your chock-a-block timetable. This session will be effective for our audience because you shared your insight and knowledge with us. So, no doubt our viewers will be benefited today by your exclusive presentation on such a wonderful topic. So, thank you so much, Jasmine ma'am. May God bless you. Okay, so now let's proceed further with our last but not the least distinguished guest speaker, Mr. Daniel T. Dizon. And he is currently a senior high school facilitator, departmental research coordinator, and heads the humanities and social sciences and general academic stands in the Domitian College of Tarlac, one of the biggest Catholic institutions in Tarlac province, Philippines. Mr. Dison graduated with the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Psychology at Tarlac State University as cum laude. He is presently in his terminal requirements for the degree of Masters of Arts in Psychology with specialization in Industrial Psychology at the University of Santo Tomas, Manila. He passed the board license examination for psychometricians last July of 2015 and has been a member of the Psychological Association of the Philippines since the same year. Their research paper on mental health stigma and help seeking behavior has won the best research paper in the 14th Joint Multidisciplinary Research Conference organized by Singapore Institute of Multidisciplinary Professions in Ascent's Asia Cup held in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam last December 2019. Before that, the same paper won third place in the poster presentation for Division 1 of the American Psychological Association Convention in Chicago, Illinois, USA, August 2019. He continues to teach research with the aim of equipping young individuals with skills necessary for higher education pursuits and advocates for mental health both for students and in the workplace. Now, dear audience, don't you think this amazing profile deserves accolades? Hello, sir. I extend a hearty welcome to you and welcome you to the IGP platform. The virtual scheme is all yours now. Please delight the audience with your knowledge.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shelley. I would just like to confirm if you can hear me, Doctor.
Yeah, you are
All right,
absolutely clear to me.
all right. Thank you very much, Doctor Shelley, and to the IGP. I hope you are still awake, everyone, because it's already 10 here in the Philippines. But I know there's nothing there's nothing can stop us if we wanted to learn, right? So this will be a very quick and but hopefully a meaningful talk or discussion. So I'll be sharing my slides
Yeah, sure.
right now. Thank you, Doctor. All right. So it's ironic that we are going to start this particular discussion with a finish line scene. Ironic because we have just started and yet we are about to end, right? So um, also, it's ironic because, or maybe it's ironic because I am the last speaker for this event or for this session. So hopefully you are still there, awake and ready to participate in this discussion. And this particular scene right here is also um, there. This particular scene is also timely, no, for the Tokyo Olympics maybe because we are still feeling the spirit of athleticism and sportsmanship right now. So, uh, but what do you think is the reason for why people are pushing themselves harder whenever they are near to this finish line? Well, maybe you might say that it's the reward that comes after this line. It could be internal or external rewards, right? Or it could be a personal fulfillment after crossing this, or it could be the medal. Okay, but uh, one thing is for sure that before you are going to cross this line, things will not be easy, right? You have to exert all your efforts. You have to maximize your energy for you to be able to get there. Same as with research. In writing our research paper, our almost there mentality hopefully can bring us closer to finishing this or that particular paper that you are writing. But that is not the case for most of us or for some of us because we respond to pressure differently, right? Well, maybe right now, some of us are experiencing a twirl of events, a confusion, a lack of inspiration or motivation to pursue or to actually um, continue writing our paper, no? So that's a very natural response for, of course, for graduate school students. I know that most of us here or some of us here are already have already taken our master's degree or are currently taking our master's degree, and for uh, and it's very a part of the reality that once you are in the research writing phase or stage, basically you can experience all of these twists of events right now. But humans as we are, I believe that we are always able to bounce back from these adversities and hopefully get that pen or pencil and basically write again. So, good evening once again, everyone. I am Danielle T. Dizon from the Philippines, and this is a discussion on finishing one's research paper. Okay. Now, whatever I will be sharing here is, of course, based from my research experiences as a teacher for research in the senior high school, as a researcher, and also as a student of the graduate school of the University of Santo Tomas. So I believe that we are all experts here in our own fields. That's why I consider myself as more of a discussant. I just hope we could meet physically and discuss this on a round table. But of course, with the limitations of the pandemic, that is not possible. So let's maximize this particular platform. And thank you once again, IGP, for providing us this particular opportunity. Now, before we proceed to the meat of this presentation, I want to settle things in. That's why I've prepared some quick questions, okay, about writing or finishing our research paper. So I include myself because I'm still in the phase of writing my paper. I'm in the terminal requirements already of my degree, and hopefully I will be able to finish it. Okay, so these are quick questions. Just type in your answer on the comment sections. So there are choices. Don't worry, this is not a quiz or an examination or an objective one. So I just need to gauge, I just need to see how much you are, what you are doing, or how much have you experienced already with regards to writing your research paper. Just type in the letter of your choice. All right. So let's begin our first question. First question: what is the most difficult part in writing a research paper? Letter A, data gathering. B, the analysis of results or findings. C, the literature review. Or D, everything about it. So kindly type in and comment your answers, and I will wait for your comments. All right, I'm seeing letter C, the literature review. Oh, there's also letter A, data gathering. Also D, everything about it. Okay? So forgive me, I cannot count each response, but I will be basing my um, discussion later on for as my impression with your answers. So there are, I think, we letter D and letter C. Okay. So I'm looking at my phone right now. So B, there's also analysis of results and findings. It's a data gathering procedure. Okay. Well, I think for most of us here, I'm seeing 210 people viewing this particular seminar or webinar. It's a combination of literature review and everything about it. Okay, that's for sure. Thank you for participating. All right. It's a balance of C and D, I think.
Hello,
Right?
sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sorry for
Yes.
interrupt.
Yes,
It's
sir.
not. It's not 210. It's right now. It's 450 plus.
All right, sir. Sorry, sorry. I am basing the
And
figures in my live. All
Facebook
right, all
page.
right.
Facebook page, right?
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir, for
Yeah,
reminding.
but we have four destination right now. We have four destination: Facebook page,
Ah, all
Facebook
right.
group, YouTube
Yeah, yeah,
channel,
yeah.
and right now we have 450 plus participants with us.
All right, thank you, sir. That's good news. Actually, there are still more than 400 people who are awake and ready to learn at this very time. Okay, so next question: what's stopping you from finishing your paper? So I assume that some of you um, has stopped in writing your paper, or maybe has experienced this. So the choices are funds, B, it's your work, okay, C, the lack of inspiration, and D, nothing's really stopping me in writing or finishing my research paper. So kindly comment your answers below. So again, the question is, what's stopping you from finishing your paper? Funds, work, lack of inspiration, or nothing's really stopping me? Okay, I'm seeing letter B's right now. So work basically, right? It's really hard to juggle your studies or do research and then you are working. Okay. Someone answered or some answered funds. Of course, research has financial requirements. See also lack of inspiration. Hmm. Okay. So this time, this question has a very diverse answer as compared to the first one. But I can see a lot of letter B's and D. Oh, there's also a letter D. Good job. Nothing stopping me. More on funds and work. Okay. So I think it's a mix, but I'm seeing more letter B's. So work and also funds. That's a basic or somewhat a given reality already. All right. So let's proceed to the third question. When can you say that you're successful in your research? So A, if you pass the defense. B, if you already graduated. C, contributed something to the community. Or D, all of this. So again, taking from your experience as researchers or as students of graduate studies. Yeah, and so the question is, when can you say that you are successful in your research? You pass the defense, you graduate, you contribute something to the community, or all of this. So this time I'm seeing A and B, also letter D. Mhm. Just type in your answers, guys. I am very delighted that you are all participating. Well, I think for those who answered A, that's our immediate goal, right? To pass the defense. And then for some, of course, our goal is to graduate. And for you to be able to graduate, you have to pass the defense. Or D, yeah, D. So I'm seeing more of letter D's this time. And personally I also answered my answer to this is also all of this. Okay? So passing the defense, graduating from my degree, and of course contributing something to the community. All right. So thank you for answering, everyone. So there you go. All right. So thank you for participating. I'm very delighted and thankful for your very interactive attitude for this evening. Now let's proceed to the next slide. Research is an inevitable task in the teaching profession. I think you are going to agree with me here that if you plan or if you choose the teaching profession or the academe, research is already a given reality. You have to do it. It's a task for you to be able to improve your teaching methods or how you handle your topics or subjects or courses, and for you to expect progress in the system. But also, not just in the teaching profession, I believe, because I know that there are also um, participants here who are maybe in the medical field or in the corporate world, and other organizations are set up. I think for us to be able to experience efficiency in our operations, even in the corporate world, we have to do research. And right now, with the ongoing pandemic, the vaccines, the statistics that we are seeing every day on the number of cases and the number of those who have already recovered and so on are all research based, and we can really get a lot and credible sources or information whenever we do research. That's why in my current institution right now, so I'm teaching in the Dominican College of Tarlac. So it's a Catholic institution run by the Dominican um, congregation. So we are already practicing, we are already in the process of building and strengthening our research culture. So we are not just, of course, requiring our students to teach or to, sorry, to actually do research, but also we also require our teachers to do research. So our practice is that we have already included research as part of our performance evaluation for teachers so that we could slowly get to that goal of having teachers who are research oriented, basically. So of course we have to walk the talk. We are encouraging our students to do research, so teachers should also do it and be able to advise them and give them um, points or inspiration to do so. Now, it's always a good thing to go back to why are we doing research in the first place. So don't worry, I will not be discussing about the technicalities of doing research because as I have seen in the previous seminars and webinars, um, some experts have already talked about writing a research paper, whether it's quantitative, qualitative, mixed methods, and the like. So, but I would I would just like to go back to the essence of doing research or the importance of research or why are we doing research in the first place. So first is we wanted to contribute to existing body of knowledge. As you all know, um, we as we and continuously endeavor with our different tasks or fields right now, we have to make a contribution to the existing body of knowledge, and we can do this through research because through knowledge or through information we can build knowledge, and through knowledge we can apply that for us to be able to improve the current state or level of practice. In other words, to improve the quality of life. I am always telling my students that whenever you do research, it's not just about passing this particular subject or graduating, but of course, we wanted to contribute something in the body of knowledge, in the growing body of knowledge, and at the same time, to improve the quality of life. So this quality of life will help us eventually, no, um, not just ourselves, but also our families and our community, basically. So, whatever we are experiencing right now, this platform we are using, technology, for example, the efficiency of operations in a lot of companies and the like, are all products of research. And third essence of research is for us to develop various skills. Okay, so whenever we do research, we are not just doing it again for the sake of writing, but we are actually developing technical skills, because remember, research is a technical skill, it's a technical task. That's why um, there's format that we have to follow. There are do's and don'ts, and etc. But also, apart from writing, uh, in research, we could also develop our communication skills, right? Remember that the last phase of any research endeavor is to communicate the results or findings, either through defense, through a conference like this, or a webinar like this, or through publication, basically. No? So we are developing these various skills. So these three essences of research, it's always nice to know that um, as researchers, as teachers, or as professionals in the different fields, no, we have to always go back to these essences whenever we are already it's nice to go back to these essences whenever we need something to recalibrate our thoughts, whenever we wanted to stop or um, halt our research experience. All right. So in our institution, um, I think you would agree with me that research as a subject in college or even in high school or in even grad school, we have this kind of stigma na, oh my gosh, this is research and it's difficult, it's challenging. Well, actually, that's a reality, no? As I can see in your answers a while ago. But in teaching research to my students, I always tell them that um, research is a lifetime or a lifelong skill that you can actually develop and you can benefit from it if you wanted to pursue higher education, college, or graduate school in the future. So, we wanted to train them as early as high school students so that when they go to college or higher education, um, uh, they will of course experience challenges, but it's not a new experience to them. All right. So that's basically one of our practices in our institution. So we ensure that the students are experiencing a full blast, the spectrum of the research experience, starting from um, proposal of topics, for writing the introduction, down to methodology, down to proposal defense, up until the final defense and facing external panelists, experts from different fields who are not from our school. So basically, um, are we are conducting that for the past 4 to 5 years of our department, since senior high school is just new here in our country or in the Philippines. So that's one of the practices. But of course, the question is, even if we have this experience or knowledge in research, being the researcher ourselves, what's stopping us actually, or what's halting um, our writing or our experience in writing or finishing our paper? So that's what I am going to focus on in this particular discussion. So I want you guys to look at this picture, um, or study the details and the like. And what can you say about this photo? So I would love to see your comments. All right. I can see. I wanted to. I want to see your comments or some of your comments. So what can you say about this photo you are seeing right now? So success. So one um, participant said it's success. Yeah, another one also success. A man successfully got into the top of a mountain, aiming high. A man with a lot of dreams. It's breathtaking. Yeah, the view is actually breathtaking. The person is on the peak. Hope. That's a very inspiring answer. Courage and cowardice at the same time. Hmm. The irony of life. New horizons, freedom, solitude. Yes, I love the answer. Adventure, of course. It's always an adventure to go up the mountains, right? A man seeing the preview of everything. Dream. Okay? So I love it, no? Because you are all responding at this very moment or time. Goal. Okay? So, well, as I can see, most of you would say that this person is on top of a mountain or a big rock here, looking at um the horizon or the vast um um platform of uh, trees and mountains and so on, meditation, looking back what he's gone through, tranquility, conquer at peace, right? So I just hope we could experience this, but of course, because of the limitations right now, we there are some restrictions to our adventures, no? So I would like to use this particular photo to illustrate this quote by Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton said that if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. Again, Isaac Newton said that if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. So this particular quote was actually shared to us by one of our colleagues, no, in a particular seminar we had just had attended. And from then on, this particular quote became our anchor in our research culture in our institution. Remember that whenever we do research, we are always one step ahead in solving problems about life or any problem that we are encountering in life. But for us to be able to finish it and for us to be able to get to that particular goal, we have to surmount a lot of mountains, a lot of giants for us to be able to get there. So, also, another explanation of this quote would be every good and credible research is possible by utilizing the data gathered from past researches. And in the process, you become a part of that giant too, right? So whenever we do research, of course, we are reviewing literature, we are reviewing past researches about our topic to check if it's feasible, to check what has been done already, and so on. And as you scan, as you go through, and as you propose and write your paper, it's good to know that you are already contributing to that growing body of knowledge, and you become a giant also because of that particular attitude. Now, the humility and preparedness to learn from others can only make you think clearer and discover knowledge far beyond what you could have known alone. So, in doing research, remember, you are doing it not just for ourselves, but we're doing it for others. That's one value that we would want our students or we would want our colleagues to learn also as researchers ourselves. All right. It's good to know. Also good to know for us to be reminded that uh, we don't know everything we don't know everything at once. We have to do research for us to know step by step the things that we wanted to achieve in the future. So this is the quote of Isaac Newton that I would want to share to you guys who are watching right now, who are participating in our webinar. So again, if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. And look where research has brought us, no, in our respective fields in our community right now. All right. Now, another question. Okay, this time, again, you just type in the your answer. Most of the time, are you thriving or surviving in writing your research paper? I wanted to know. So just type if you thrive or you survive in writing your research paper. So this will lead us to our next discussion or topic or concept. So again, the question is, most of the time, are you thriving or surviving in writing your research paper? So one participant said surviving. Okay, another one said thriving, thriving, thriving. Okay, surviving. All right, thriving for surviving. Oh, that's a good answer also. Surviving, thriving with an exclamation point for emphasis and for excitement, maybe. All right, surviving. As I can see, there are more of you who answered thriving. Okay, or both. No, thriving. All right. Thank you for your answers. So, most of the time, are you thriving or surviving in writing your research paper? Now, let's have a quick discussion on what's the difference between thriving and surviving. And we try to connect it to our discussions, which is about finishing our research paper. So, remember, to survive means it's a grim struggle. Your white knocking life just barely getting by. So it's a drag, a daily slog to stay alive. So to survive means you just want to finish this thing or finish writing your paper, get by, and then um, just wait for what's coming next and so on. So basically, you just want to survive, because that's part of the game right now. Especially we are in a very competitive world, wherein for you to be able to land a good job, it is not just enough that you have the skills, the good communication skills, but you have to uh, have a good set of educational qualification. And for you to be able to get that qualification um, for your educational requirement, you need to do research basically. Now, to thrive means living and thinking abundantly, joyful and infectious. In other words, you are um, inspiring other people to also thrive in life, or to thrive in writing your paper. Now, to thrive, actually thriving is part of the positive psychology, which Ma'am Jasmine and Sir Albert has talked about a while ago. And also thriving is also connected to flourishing, or finding that happiness and contentment in life. To thrive means that you are not discarding negative experiences, right? To thrive means you are not ignoring those challenges, but you always find a way to grow, just like this hand right now with the growing plant. To thrive means finding growth in every adversity, or in every challenge that you are experiencing, and not just merely you just want to get by. All right. So we are going to focus on the idea of thriving as a concept. Actually, Martin Seligman has a thriving model also, but his model is for college students who are surviving or thriving in their education. All right. Just to give quick information on that. Another illustration of surviving and thriving would be this. As you can see, there's a circle that symbolizes an obstacle, and the line there is your direction towards your goal. That's you, actually. That's us. No, so if your priority is on survival, you are now focused, and you ask what is being done to us. All right, and but whenever you thrive, your attitude is is illustrated as this. So why do others of us push forward and succeed despite the same obstacles? So they are future focused, their priority is on thriving, and we ask, what can we do? Right? I myself, I have experience right now, actually, I would like to share this well, I should say, a personal experience. I have experienced halting my research because of personal reasons. And when I stopped writing in my research, there's a point there that I somehow look into what could have been done, what just had happened. I also tend to blame something externally, no, not just out of me. And then right now, after maybe two or 1 to 2 years, I'm going back to writing my research paper. It's because um, I have somehow saw that I need to uh, think of what can I do to get back that spirit, to get back on track, and again get that pen and start writing again. So this particular um, experience actually brought me here. Why am I here right now? And I think um, I am sharing this not just for myself, but also for those out there, for students like me, and for researchers like me, that yes, it's a given fact that research is a very hard and difficult task. And there are times that you would just want to stop writing, but you have to do it for the sake of a particular goal. But uh, then again, something just came into my mind that what should I share? Uh, just like what I've said a while ago, there are already webinars about the technicalities of doing a research paper. So I would like to focus into this: thriving or surviving, and thriving in writing our research paper. Now, I would like to share this shift in perspective. How are we going to shift our perspective from surviving to thriving? So there are some steps or some general clues or um, experience, no, for us to be able to survive, to change our survival mode to thriving mode. So the first one is for us to actually uh, fix our for us to shift from fixed mindset to growth mindset. So remember that a fixed mindset is whenever you say to yourself that failure is the limit of my abilities. Once you fail to something, you will not have the spirit again to maybe write your research paper, or you would want to stop. Or a fixed mindset says, I'm either good at it or I'm not. Okay? My abilities are unchanging. I don't like to be challenged. I can either do it or I can't. My potential is predetermined. When I'm frustrated, I give up. Feedback and criticism are personal. I stick to what I know. There's nothing wrong actually with this. But remember, for us to be able to experience thriving, we have to shift our perspective from this kind of mindset to growth mindset. So, in growth mindset, failure is not the limit of my abilities, it's an opportunity for me to grow. I can learn to do anything I want. Challenges help me to grow. My effort and attitude determine my abilities. Feedback is constructive. It is not something personal. I am inspired by the success of others and I like to try new things. So, shifting our perspective from fixed mindset to growth mindset will help us thrive, basically, not just in writing our research paper, but also in life. The next shift in perspective would be who you are and where you've been. That's from surviving, then going to who you can become and where you're going. Well, you may have experienced mistakes or lapses in writing your research paper in the past, but the important thing right now is realizing on who you can become after finishing that paper, and of course, where you are going after getting that degree or after finishing such a difficult task. Another one is from failure prevention. So when we say failure prevention, these are the things or the terms that are connected to it: problems, attendance, preparation, average, and try to shift that into success promotion, which from problems, you try to shift that seeing possibilities. From attendance, or by just merely attending, for example, into a particular course
Sorry to
or in a
intervene. I have an important announcement to make for our dear audience. And first of all, I would like to thank for the wonderful presentation you had, and you were explaining it so well with your beautiful presentation and your slides. I mean, it was mind blowing, you know. Indeed, I would like to say that it was an exuberant and overwhelming articulation, brilliant, and a lovely and superb discourse. I believe you were able to give the beautiful insight on this topic, and the dear participants must have got the important takeaways. I'm sure you have inspired all the knowledge seekers today. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time and sharing your knowledge with us today. But let me announce a good surprise to our attendees today. I hope all the three eminent guest speakers from Philippines were worthy today to have enlightened all my delightful attendees with their deliberations. Okay, but yes, one more announcement that this was indeed only the part one of Transcending Optimism and Research Based Practices in Education, and I am yet to return back with a bang with the part two series, which will be there on September 12th, the weekend morning session. So this is not over. The webinar is not over. This is only the part one, which we showcase in front of you. And the part two will again, that means I will return with a bang on September 12th in the morning, weekend session with the quiz session, with the question answer session, and all the key insights and everything which is related with that particular thing today, because it is already 8:23 p.m. and I think all of us are from the different time zones and we can't extend it beyond that. So the only wish which I want my participants is to stay connected with us on September 12th to see the second part of this wonderful webinar, and also to attend the quiz session and the wonderful question and answer by the eminent guest speakers. I hope I have made myself clear to all of you. Can I have Mr. Daniel also on the screen? Yes, Mr. Daniel, have I made myself clear to you? that on September 12, we will return back with a morning weekend session with the part two of today's webinar, wherein we'll have the question answer round as well as the quiz session for our wonderful audience. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all three of you, for your wonderful time with us and for your wonderful presentation. Stay connected with all of us. Thank you so much. And the next announcement which I have is that we have the different three groups here, like Facebook, YouTube, and in case if you have missed out something, you can get us connected with all the three groups which we have over here. Now, from 1st August, we have a free international webinar that is on a daily basis, but the timings are fixed, that is 6 p.m. BST. Now you have the double bonus audience, which I just revealed to you. From September onwards, we'll arrange free international webinars on the weekend. That is Sunday morning session, 9:30 a.m. BST. So that will be a 3-hour morning session. So those who are not in a position to attend the evening session, can very well get us connected on the morning sessions. So this is the double bonus. We are available both in the evening as well as in the morning for the weekend webinars. From October, we'll arrange FDP and STTP program for your organization. This is also the double bonus we have for you. So this is basically some important process which I want to tell you, the 7 steps and all, that how to get your certificates. Certificate code must be applicable from July 12, 2021, which is available on the video sessions certification part. Now, without certificate code, you are not eligible to get your certificate. It is very, very important. Video will be available always on our Facebook page, website, and even on the YouTube channel. Now, who wants to learn? Anyone can join us on live sessions, or later, maybe the recorded session as well. We don't have any restrictions for learning. Our only focus is that learn anything you want, but learning is must. The beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you, and that is quoted by B.B. King, and that is really to be respected and followed. For the first time, IGP will launch a virtual awards ceremony program. And since IGP is very, very different from the other organization, so in this case also, this will be a treat to watch. And even I'm looking forward for this virtual awards ceremony. So stay tuned with us. Now today, that is your 7th August, you will get class material in every webinar description box on our website. You just need to click on this YouTube program link and the webinar material will be there as it is seen on the slide in front of us. And that is something so important for the knowledge seekers. And that is for everything. And let me just give you a brief about the certification process also. We have various steps for it. Now, today's program, as the name says, Transcending Optimism and Research-Based Practices in Education. For this, we have the various steps so that you can download your certificates without any hassles. So this is the certification link which you can see on the screen. And it is now available in the comment box and the pinned comment. Certification link will be available always in this program post, Facebook page, Facebook group, and YouTube description. But today, due to some emergencies, we are not able to share any link in the comment section or the box. So please note that for today's certificates and upcoming webinars registration, you have to visit our website, www.eduitp.com. We'll share certificate code during the certification process part. And this is only for today. Only for today, we don't have the link. And this is the certification process that you can claim your certificates in 2 ways. First one is the direct link from the comment box, pinned comment, post description, which is not available today. So I request each one of you to go for the second process. And that is, if you're not able to click this link, please directly browse www.eduitp.com eduigp.com for all information together, and you can find today's program, and this process is the same which I have already explained to you earlier. And the step 3 says that browse www.eduigp.com or give a link. You will redirect in this page of our website. There you can find the YouTube link also. And if you can see on the right side corner, there is a blue rectangular box which says enroll now. You need to click on this enroll now. This is an important step. Okay, now if you are new to IGP, you need to create your account. If you have account already, that means if you are an old participants of ours, then log in directly. After that, find the seminar title and get enrolled. As it is depicted on the right side of the screen, there is a box log in, which is green in color. You just need to click over there and you will be logged with us. Okay, now this is the step 4. Certificate code is required, and for today this is an important information. For today the code is IGP 5531. Now without this code no one is eligible for the certificate, so I request once more to all my attendees, to all my dear participants, to kindly note down this code for today's webinar. It is IGP 5531 and everything is there in caps. It is in capital letters, IGP 5531. And next we have, next is quiz code and certification code is not the same. We have different code for the quiz and the different code for the certificates. So don't mismatch and don't think that the code is same for the quiz certificates as well as for the other regular participation certificates. So right now I have announced the certificate code. Now with this code, you click on this particular link and you get your certificate. Now for today, the certificate code, I repeat, is IGP 5531. You need to click and you need to enter this particular code and you will get your certificate. So our free international webinar certificate is auto downloadable in PDF file. So check your device file manager. Sometimes it looks uncompleted, which is for your mobile screen size, but in PDF file, everything seems okay. And in case if nothing found in your file manager, please check your browser setting or update your browser or try with another browser or try it from a laptop or desktop, because of certain glitches at times it happens that you are not able to, but don't panic. It's very easy to get the certificate. Okay, so this is the sample of your participation certificate, and this is step 6. And if you go to the step 6, you can find that it is a verified certificate, which is very, very important. And the next certificate we have, this is all about, in case if you missed any of our live programs, you can very well connect with us on our Facebook page, Facebook group, YouTube channel, and even the website. If anyone missed any program due to some unavoidable circumstances or certain issues, you can attend the previous webinar with the verified certificates. It's not an issue at all. It's very easy to connect us with us. So dear participants, if you have any problem to raise your certificate or any other issues, please don't feel hesitant to contact IGP. Now, our website, in case it isn't working well, don't be panicked. It's just the case of some traffic because of the maximum user. With code, you can claim your certificates tomorrow also. It's not a worry, but the only thing is you need to remember your certificate code. Our core team members are always ready to comment and support you to find solutions. You can connect with Janet S. Kablow, and Kelvin Lenetok. They will definitely be replying you. So need not worry at all. So this is the next webinar on August 8, that is tomorrow, on human resources and conflict management by the two eminent guest speakers from Philippines. So stay tuned and block your dates on August 8. And on August 9, we have Transforming the Future Through Education by the three guest speakers from South Africa, Tunisia, and India. And on August 10, we are coming up with Global Communication for Educators from the three eminent guest speakers from Philippines, United Arab Emirates, and Philippines. August 11, we have Developing Resilience by the three great speakers from United States, Nigeria, and India. So I request each one of you to kindly block your dates and attend all these upcoming webinars. Interesting topics and eminent guest speakers, indeed. August 12, we have Creativity in Teaching from the two great speakers from Philippines and Uzbekistan. Stay connected. August 13, we have Leading Change Through Uncertainty by the three eminent distinguished speakers from Philippines, South Africa, and United States. August 14, the webinar is on socio-emotional learning by the two distinguished speakers from United States. Lovely topics and eminent speakers. I would want each one of you to get connected and book yourself for these dates. August 15, we have Transformational Leadership by the eminent guest speakers from United States, United Kingdom, and South Africa. Wonderful to see. August 16, Ethics in Teaching by again two eminent guest personalities from Philippines. August 17, we have Leading for Success, and it will be deliberated by South Africa, United Kingdom, and Ecuador. Wonderful session. August 18, we have Facts and Figures of Ancient Mathematical Techniques by the two guest speakers from Oman and India. So, on August 19, it will be Community Engagement and Empowerment by the three great guest speakers from Vietnam, India, and Nigeria. Great to see the eminent leaders with great topics. Please stay tuned. On August 20, we have Concepts and Components of Quantitative Research by the two great speakers from Philippines. Philippines is ruling IGP. It's good. We have great speakers. And on August 21, we have Achieving Success Through Innovation by the three guest speakers from United Arab Emirates, South Africa, and Croatia. August 22, we'll have Communications and Leadership in the Workplace by the two great speakers from Philippines. Good to see. August 23, we have Leadership in Education by the three eminent guest speakers from South Africa, Switzerland, and Croatia. August 24, Intervention Strategies for Distance Learning by the three speakers from Philippines. August 25, Social Emotional Teaching and Learning Management by the three guest speakers from Greece, India, and Georgia. Please book your dates. August 26, it is Self Empowerment for Young Professionals. Both the speakers are from Philippines. August 27, Thriving for Success, and the four great speakers are from South Africa, India, Nigeria, and Singapore. Wonderful platform, wonderful topics, and wonderful webinar. I request each one of you to kindly join and connect with IGP. August 28, Significant and Dynamic Trends in Education by the two eminent speakers from Thailand. August 29, Principles of Leading Change by the four guest speakers from South Africa, United Kingdom, South Africa, and again South Africa. Wonderful. August 30, Meeting the Challenges of the New Normal in School Education by the two eminent personalities from Philippines. Great. August 31st, we have Young Leaders Changing the World by the four eminent guest speakers from South Africa, United Kingdom, South Africa, and Vietnam. September 1, Redefining Education by the two great edu leaders. So this was the August month which I showed to you, and I want each one of you to kindly block your dates in the evening session and get connected with us. Don't forget to collect the code. So before we part goodbyes, let me acknowledge my alluring warm attendees who were so patient and attentive throughout the session. Dear listeners, I'm much obliged for you from the core of my deep heart for taking part in today's session. I'm confident and positive that you might have gained, picked up, and learned something new today, which you will sure implement in your life for your career growth. My worthy viewers, I would now request all of you to please leave a review for today's seminar and also to recommend our page if you have learned something from us, or if we were a little help to you all today. I'll also appeal to my beautiful onlookers to spread the information among your friends. I repeat again, not to forget collecting your e-certificates from our website or by the link mentioned below after the session gets over. We hope to see you all again in the next upcoming webinars. Till then, thank you so much. Brave the pandemic with smile, sunshine, warmth, and positivity. Stay happy, stay safe, stay home. I, your host, Dr. Shelly Bish, sign out. Bye-bye. And lovely to meet all three of you, and I hope we get connected in future also in one of the upcoming webinars and events. So God bless you, stay connected, and wonderful deliberations by three of you. I loved it.